Well, here I am back again. It's Saturday morning, and I did promise to bring you back and show you how I clean these up, and these little cleats that I'm putting on here, how I clean them up and rivet them on. I never got around to it yesterday. So they've been drilled on, they've been measured up and all the rest of it. And there we go, we've got some holes here, and on here. So we've got three directions. This is our little, well, let's call it a cleat. First of all, what we need to do is we need to deburr these holes. If you feel them, especially the ones on the back, if you feel them, they feel like a cheese grater. And if you did that hard enough, you'd probably wind up cutting your finger. So that's not good for building aeroplanes. Because rough holes is a perfect start for a stress raiser, where cracks are likely to start from. So what we do is we use this tool here, which is a simple crank handle with a what looks like a bit of a countersink tool on the end of it, and just 2 or 3 turns in a hole. Gentle pressure. I'm not trying to countersink the hole. I'm just purely trying to take the burr off, and you can feel the burr with your finger. Put it in, give it a few turns, and feel it, and it'll be nice and smooth. These 3 are not done yet. And of course, this is where the drill went from this side towards that way. So the hole on the other side that's where the bigger burr is. There's a burr on this side, but there's a bigger one on the other side. So we need to clean that off as well. So turn it over and do the same gently on the other side. And feel it. And yep, that's pretty good. That one's still a bit crunchy. It needs a bit more work. Okay, so another couple of turns, perfect. And these ones, that one, and this one. And yep, they feel good. And now just these last 3 down this way. That one, and that one. Now, when I'm doing this, I don't take both plate. There's a plate on the inside, and this one will go on the outside. Well, actually, it goes that way. But I tend not to take both of them off at once, because the holes will be very, very, very close to being the same, but they won't be exactly the same. So if you try putting this panel on the other side, you could probably make it fit, but it'll be stressing all these parts to line up with it. And then of course you'll wind up with cracking. So just take one off at a time. That's the easy way to do it. And then you've only got to put one back on. And of course it'll only go one way because it's a particular shape. That's where the rivet lines have got to go. That's where it has to go. But anyway, that's my 20-cent tip for the day. So we just put that aside. And these holes here, whatever it is, 9 holes, they're going to have burrs on them as well. So we've got to take those burrs off. Okay, so we can do that, same as we did with the panel. And we can feel them, the same as we did with the panel. They feel good. And then these 3, Some of you, the clever ones out there are already jumping ahead going, "Rot-row, how are you going to use that tool on the inside? That sounds like a problema." Well, they're perfect. Let's start with these ones. And yes, there's burrs on the inside of those, and probably on the inside of those. Not as bad as that panel, but obviously a slightly different material. But, okay, we've got a couple of options. We could what I sometimes use is, this thing's called a warding file. It's a normal file, but it's very, very skinny. Yeah, it's only a couple of millimetres thick. And it's, in English, it's called a warding file. I don't know what it is in your country. It's probably called something different. But we can file the inside of the holes gently, yeah, to take any burrs off. Sometimes I will do this, and that's perfect. That's all it needed. It doesn't need very much, but maybe a little bit more on this first hole, on this hole. But yep, there you go. Beautiful. Now these three up here. Oh, actually, I was going to show you a different way of doing that. What we could do is we could use a piece of sandpaper. All we're trying to do is get the burrs off. We're not trying to, don't hook into it and try and sand the pure aluminium off the outside. But just, you know, a little bit of anything at all will do. Any sort of sandpaper, and look at that, that's perfect. Yeah, fingers not bleeding, everybody's happy. Same with these ones, these three holes here. Right, now, how are we going to do those ones? That's the tricky bit. And it's the bit that I really wanted to show you. What I've made is this device here. This is just a normal everyday nail there that you nail a piece of wood together with. I took it, put a bend on the end, a 90-degree bend on the end, and then sharpened inside the 90 degrees. Yeah, so it's got a I don't know. You're probably definitely not going to be able to see it, but it's actually sharp on the inside here to a sharpened point. You may get the drift. I put it in a drill. Now, I've got no intentions of plugging this drill in. That would be disastrous. But with a short beak like that, just this little beak, you can feed it in through the hole. Yeah, and I use it in a drill, but I guess you just need some way of turning that nail. And I actually pull the drill back towards me and gently turn the chuck. And that will deburr the inside of the hole. Yeah, so you can actually, and I do that. And if you look at the aeroplane, the inside of all of the a lot of the aeroplanes made from square tube, and all of the holes have been deburred on the inside using this method. That one's going to be a bit tricky to get in by the looks of things. Doesn't want to go in there. Okay, that's because there's two thicknesses of material here, and it's quite thick material. So this beak has to be made shorter. I'll cut that off and do it in a second. I'll try it in this one, but if it won't fit that one, it probably won't fit this upper one either. Yep, that doesn't want to go in there. Okay, but that's how you do it. Put it in, pull back on the drill and turn it, and that deburrs the inside of the hole. Let's see if we can look at it here. This is what would be on the other side that we can't see. And you turn it around, and this sharpened edge will cut the burr off. Again, you're not trying to countersink the hole or anything crazy like that. Yeah, you're purely trying to take that burr off. But anyway, that's it. I'll play on. I've got quite a few more of these to rivet on, or quite a few, there's half a dozen. And yeah, then the undercarriage will be ready for, or getting closer. Okay, just a quick update. This tool that I was showing you, I remade this with a smaller gauge nail with a short beak, and otherwise the same as the one I tried to use before. It now fits in those number 30 holes perfectly, and deburrs the inside of the hole. So yeah. So yes, you can deburr the inside of a blind hole if you put your mind to it. This is just my 2-minute homemade solution. You can actually buy tools for doing this. I haven't bought one. I haven't seen one, but I know they're available. So, but you know, this is all you need really. Okay. Better. Since there'll be fabric going up over here probably, or at least starting at the top here and going over these around the drag brace here, these little angle brackets can't be sticking out like that. They've got to conform to the material that they're wrapping around. So all I did was just hammer them down. Don't have them too long and try and hammer them down, but just hammer it down like that, and now the fabric will go around that. Same with this one, but the fabric will go around it, and it'll sit down and look like it's actually meant to be there. But that's it. That was all I really wanted to demonstrate right now. This gear lead can go back on. All right. Now I believe this, that the wing root fairing is not installed. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, the wing root fairing's been removed. Dun, 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 dun. And there it is right there. Now I've marked it where I expect to cut it through. I think what I need that much to come out of the side, about out of this piece, and that'll be tapered up to almost coming out of this side. That's what I'm predicting. I won't know. I'll cut this, reinstall it, and then move the bottom bit until it actually fits properly, move it and trim it and move it and trim it, and until I get it to go where I basically want it to. But at least I've started the wing root fairing, which I've been putting off for ages. I'll just show you while I've got that fairing off. I'll move you over this way a bit, and maybe put you down a little bit. Yeah, so where the wing actually meets the fuselage still needs a little bit more taken off. I've marked it, and when I do actually take the wing off, then I will trim that to give me a fair bit of clearance. There will be a tiny bit of movement between the two in flight, I guess. It'll only be like a millimetre or something like that. It won't be very much. But still, I can't afford to have any, so I need to actually increase the clearance on that. That's just one little task when the wing comes off, which if I get this wing root fairing sorted, then the wing can come off pretty much any time after that. So we're on a roll. We're going well. I finished the undercarriage bracketry. These pieces, yeah, they're all riveted on properly and done properly. I have my balsa, which I'm going to put here to put a nose on that main gear leg fairing. But yeah, I cut the where are we? I cut the brake line, the brake lines here, and so that the undercarriage can come off and on and off at will. And I'll put a joiner in there and join them back together. But yeah, so we're still dog paddling, but we're dog paddling forwards. That's a good feeling.
Renegade 4057, roads this time, runway going on.